Go ahead.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Calling the Southborough Board of Health meeting to order on Wednesday, May 1st, 2024. Myself and Liz Zulik are present, and I'm expecting Safdar Medina to join us shortly. We will not have any public comment during this meeting, and this is a Zoom only meeting. We just have 2 items to discuss, and this is an off-cycle meeting for us. So I invited Isabella Caruso to join us. She's employed by the town of Northborough, but also works for the Greater Boroughs and is currently interim public health director in Northborough, and has been helping us out after Kristen Black left, and has worked with us as epidemiologist and the program coordinator for the Greater Boroughs grant. So thank you for joining, Isabella. And she's here if we have any questions, and just to show that we're collaboratively working together on kind of restructuring our department. So just for the public's benefit, we are looking to restructure the town of Southborough's public health, and we are combining our public health director position with our nursing position to create one. And in doing that, we are hoping to take some of the funds that we have from that savings and utilize it towards a health agent who is a registered sanitarian. A large part of the work that we do is septic inspections, plan review, soil testing, and a whole bunch of other inspections, because the town of Southborough is 100% septic. And currently we have a per diem contract employee who provides us 19 hours a week of septic inspection and plan review. And we're looking to provide a more sustainable model for the town of Southborough for the future. So, and with that, Northborough's health director left in January, and she was providing all of Northborough's septic inspections. So currently Northborough is contracting out to provide those inspections. So in working with the town of Northborough, Isabella, as well as the town administrator, we would like to explore the option of having a shared employee between the 2 towns. And we crunched the numbers over the last 5 years of all types of inspections that both towns provide. Northborough's 70% on septic. And it was actually pretty even year over year. So we would like to propose that we split this employee 50-50 between salary and benefits. So the goal here is, as Isabella Taylor and I drafted a health agent job description that's been provided, and that this employee would reside in the Southborough's personnel plan. And so I'm looking for the Southborough Board of Health to vote on that job description today, and then bring that job description as well as the new health director job description to the personnel board on May 13th. And ask them to go ahead and grade those 2 positions prior to their June meeting, so that we could approve that at their June meeting, and hopefully start to hire or to recruit and hire for this RS health agent position starting July 1. The one challenge that we have, or I guess it's not a challenge, but it's just outside of the ordinary cycle, is that in order to add a position to the personnel board plan, it has to go to town meeting. So the personnel board has a provision in the SAP that allows them to add a position prior to town meeting, and contingent upon town meeting. So right now, Southborough has a tentative fall town meeting. So the goal would be to put this in front of the residents in the fall, but have personnel board allow us to hire for this position prior to that. So that's kind of just the background for anybody who's watching the tape. I think the board and the employees understand all that. Okay. Did I miss anything on the process?
I don't think the process this far, no.
Okay. So I'm going to share my screen.
I'm not sure where Safdar is, but just so Liz, you know, he did email me this morning and said it looks good to him and he had no comments.
Okay. Great. Thank you. Can you guys see my screen?
Mhm.
Okay, so this is the draft job description. And we looked at a few different towns to pull this information, as well as Northborough had a proposal from a consultant that they had used, and we also had one from the Collins Center as part of the shared service regional initiative that we had with them. So the essential functions are listed here. This person would get direct supervision from the Southborough Health Director, but would work collaboratively with other department staff and Northborough's Board of Health and Health Director as well. They would not supervise anyone directly, and we would want this person to be a registered sanitarian, or they have the ability to hire within a year. And we list under that education and experience section all of the licenses that we would want this person to have. One of the important components, I think, is that we would want this person to do more than just septic plan inspection and review. We would want them to do other inspections as needed, which includes, if you look at that first bullet under essential functions, food establishments, housing units, pools, and camps. The reason for that is because right now we have a shared employee under the greater boroughs, and we don't have a backup for him as of right now between the two towns. So this person, it wouldn't be their primary function on a day-to-day basis, but as needed, we would want them to be qualified to do all of those inspections. And as I mentioned earlier, the town of Southborough has a per diem contractor who does all our inspections right now, and the goal would be that he would continue in that capacity, but provide him flexibility to be able to take time off as he wants to, as well as provide his expertise from the field, because he's been in it a long time, to a new employee. I think that's.
So one thing that I just wanted, can you go up to the just scroll up to this education experience? I keep coming back to this bachelor's degree piece. I think we have to say bachelor's, somehow say bachelor's, because right now it seems like it's preferred, but it's required to have a bachelor's degree. So could we say bachelor's degree required, like with preference to degrees in? Does that make sense to everyone?
Yes.
And then the one comment that Dennis made, and I know we talked about this too, was for the.
Sorry, just while you're there, 2A, I shouldn't say 2A degree, right? Yeah.
Thank you. The CPO food manager led determinator certified evaluator. We talked about this, how some of these are really hard to get, and Dennis brought that up too. Like,
yeah.
Is there a way to say like working towards within 1 year of hire, or because most likely they probably will not get into a class.
How about we say or obtain within 1 year of hire, contingent upon class availability?
Or is that redundant?
I think the wording is honestly fine, because it's
okay.
saying really like we do prefer it, but we'll help you get there. I think is kind of what that statement
so
is.
I
saying.
think with all of us understanding that there is a huge lack of availability in class space for some of these classes.
Yeah. Okay. Any other sections that anybody wants to talk about? Okay. So so that's on the job description. So why don't we take a position on that, Liz, and then we'll talk about the IMA. So I move that the Board of Health approve the job description as amended this morning to go to Personnel Board on May 13th to be graded.
Second, and I vote aye.
And Malinowski's aye. Okay, thank you. So the IMA. So I worked with council on getting a few drafts of other towns' IMAs other towns who use IMAs for shared service employees. So I started working on kind of taking the pieces that I think are relevant for ours. And one of the things that I need to figure out before I finish the IMA is how we're going to deal with the accounting piece of it. So are we going to have Northborough pay half the benefits at the beginning of the year, and where do those funds go, and then how do we expend it to the employee? So I got to figure out like logistically how we do that before I finish the IMA, so that way it's clear in there. And the other piece that I want to make sure that we do is, obviously we're part of a Greater Boroughs organization with 4 towns. So this employee is going to be funded from 2 towns' own funds. It's not going to have anything to do with the Greater Boroughs funding. However, we've made great strides with the other 2 towns, Westboro and Boylston, on sharing employees and working through Greater Boroughs, and it's been great. So I want to draft the IMA so that if a town was in a pinch and needed services that we have in this employee, that they would be able to either join the agreement on a permanent basis or pay for those services on an as needed basis. So I just need to work with council on how to word that in the IMA so that we provide flexibility for ourselves without having to have a without having to start from scratch. So so that's also something else that I want to work on. But just to be clear, the funding source is from the individual town budgets. Good. Okay. So as soon as I'm done with that, I'll get you a draft. But it's a work in progress right now. And obviously we'll keep Isabella included, as well as, Tim, as needed. And Mark Purple is also aware of what we're looking to do, because the select board will need to sign the IMA when it's ready. Okay, that's all I had. Anything else anybody wants to bring up?
Nothing from me.
No.
All right. Well, thank you very much. And I will draft a memo to go to personnel board so that they understand what we're looking to do. And I just think it makes sense to be able to do it simultaneously. So I appreciate you jumping on for an additional meeting to get this moving.
Yeah, no problem.
Awesome. All right. So I move to
you.
adjourn at 10:45.
Second, and I vote aye.
And Malinowski's aye. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you.
Bye,
Thanks.
thank you.
Bye.